the div tag and the use of div tag is I think this is your browser.
Bhaiya, I think
Yeah,
that Ashwin Bhaiya told using PRE the text would come as it is, not using the P tag.
I mean, yeah, TRE text means using TRE tag, the text will come as it is. But for I am telling you for the paragraph tag means if you will use in between the BR tag, then it will change your line. But for paragraph tag, if you are using the P tag, so whatever you will write in that means paragraph form, that will come inside your browser as the paragraph. But I'm telling you in the main difference between div tag and the paragraph tag. So the P tag is used only for writing a paragraph, but the main use of div tag is used to make a block inside your browser, so that inside your block you can color it differently from the other blocks, and inside the div tag you can even insert a P tag, img tag, and heading tag and other tags you can insert inside the div tag, but in the paragraph tag is only used for writing a paragraph.
Bhaiya, I think we can insert IMG tag in the paragraph tag itself. I think so,
Yeah,
but I'm not sure about it.
yeah, you can insert between means inside the P tag, but it will not form a block. Like if wait, let me explain you more. Like this is your screen, browser screen. So if you will use the P tag means all over around it, and you want it inside the P tag, your P tag starts from here and ended here, and in between these lines, what you want, that you want these in between 3 or 4 lines, this should be in green color. Then there is no option to do this. For doing it in green color, you need to do all the paragraph in green color, and all the lines of the paragraph will appear in the green color. But
Bhaiya,
if you
we
want,
tried like as Bhaiya said, Ashwin Bhaiya told yesterday, we tried by writing here the style thing and using that CSS, we can add green color here itself.
but in between the lines you can't insert, means you need to give any tag here.
Aniket and Jaideep, can we put the doubts at the end of the session so that we can begin the actual session for today?
Okay,
Yeah.
sure Bhaiya, no problem.
Yes, we will obviously Anmol shared the agenda in the chat. We have kept allotted time in the end for Q&A. All right. So we have around 115 participants right now, and it's 6:33. So we can begin. So let me just quickly introduce myself. I am Jasleen Sondhi. I am the Kolkata chapter lead at Code Academy. So a little bit about the chapter. It is specifically for the Kolkata region, but it is open for everyone. You can check out Ashwin's PPT from yesterday. There are links to all our chapters, so you can check out the mission and everything over there. So today, how did I get a Code Academy t-shirt? By actually becoming chapter leader. That's how. All right. So today we have 2 sections that we're going to cover. Which one is by Ashwin, which is a continuation from yesterday. He's going to take up some of the bootstrap part. Just Kiran, not funny if you're here again to disrupt the crowd. Moderators, please take care of that. Next thing is, after Ashwin is done, he's going to take the first section of the session today. And then we have another guest with us, who's Aniket. You guys have already met him right now. So Aniket will be starting off with JavaScript today. And I hope you all have a good and productive session. Over to Ashwin. Is Ashwin back with us, Anmol? Can you just
Yes.
check?
Hello.
Yes. Hi, Ashwin. Hi. So over to you, Ashwin. You can start off with Bootstrap that we were doing yesterday. And like I mentioned yesterday as well, try to keep your doubts, oral doubts, towards the end of the session. We will dedicate 10 to 15 minutes in the end those who have doubts, they can get to speak. If you have small doubts or if you want to type it in the chat, there are moderators present. There are other people also. They will be happy to help you and reply to your questions. So make use of the chat, but please do not spam. Do not make the experience terrible for everyone. We're all here to learn. So let's just, keep up with the code of conduct and learn well and have a good session. So over to you, Ashwin. You can begin.
Okay, so welcome back everyone. So I hope you guys had a good time for the previous two sessions. So today let's start with the Bootstrap. So let me share my screen. Okay. So can anyone confirm the screen is visible or not?
Yes,
Yes, sir.
Yes. Okay. Cool. Okay. So today we'll continue with Bootstrap. Okay. So in short, Bootstrap is a CSS framework. Okay. So a framework is nothing but a predefined set of code that other developers has written so that we guys like us, other web developers who are newbies, who want to save our time, can use this framework to quickly build fast and responsive websites. Okay. So that's what a Bootstrap is. Okay. So the first thing we have to do is we have to check out this website. Okay. So Bootstrap contains a lot of predefined code that we can use. Okay. So as you can see over here, if we want to link our Bootstrap to our website, we have to use this CSS link tag. So we have discussed yesterday, right? So can anyone tell me what type of CSS would this be? This one over here.
External.
Exactly. So this is an external CSS, right? So we can also say Bootstrap is nothing but another CSS file. That's it. Okay. So the developers who built this Bootstrap, they have predefined CSS styles that we can use quickly. Okay. So as you can see over here, we just visited this part, right? So we should copy this code and we have to add it to our website. Okay. So as discussed yesterday, I'm using a REPL so that I can show you guys some practical demo. So yesterday we were discussing about meta tags, right? So this would be an example for meta tags. So this is a predefined template given by REPL so that we can use it over here. And this is how we have to link our CSS file, right? This is an external type of CSS. And this is how we should add our Bootstrap CSS link element. Okay. So if you can browse through this website, as you can see, we have a lot of a styling that we can provide. Let's say if you go to content over here and typography, as you can see, yesterday we discussed about headings, right? Headings and paragraph. So they have built a lot of really good looking CSS styles into Bootstrap so that we can use it directly. Okay. So as you can see, there are images. Inside components, there are cards that you can use, card types. And as you can see, there's nav bar, the navigation bar over here, you can see, right, for Bootstrap website itself. So we can build similar sort of a nav bar to our website itself. So also we have utilities like what type of border we have to add. So we can use Bootstrap to reduce our time so that we can focus on only the visual part of the website, right? Okay, so today let's build a website for our event. Okay, so let's build a website, a simple website using Bootstrap, and we will use this 3 simple predefined code that is built by Bootstrap. Okay, so the first one is navigation part. So yesterday, I think we didn't have enough time to cover class, right? So in short, a class is nothing but a selector. Okay. Yesterday we discussed what is a selector, what is a property and a value in CSS, right? So when you have a lot of elements, we have to wrap it inside one single part. That's where we use div tags, right? As you can see over here, even Bootstrap has given a predefined code where they have wrapped every list elements and form elements inside this div bar, right? So that they can add this class property inside this code, right? So that's where we would use class. Class is another type of CSS selector where you can add attributes as an attribute and its associated value. Okay, so you can copy over here. As you can see, this copy button. You can copy this and add it to your website. So in this demo code, I have copied the navigation bar over here. Okay, copied the navigation bar over here, and as you can see over here, this is a script tag. You will be discussing more in the JavaScript part. So this is how we add a JavaScript file similar to CSS file. Okay, that's why I give it some comments over here, so you can refer later. So I have copied the same code over here, this navigation bar. Let me show you the actual website demo. As you can see, so this part is a navigation bar, right? So I have also added other two components from Bootstrap, and those are responsive images and card text. Okay, so you can check the documentation to add your own type of code that you want in your website. So I have already added the same code which is present over here. Okay, this is a responsive image template code, and this is a card deck template code. Okay, so what we'll be doing here is we'll be adding a change in this website in such a way that it looks good and it promotes our event. Okay, so let me expand this code, and this is the navigation bar, nav bar code. Okay, so yesterday as we discussed, we have an anchor tag like a tag right over here, and this is a button tag. So we use it so that we can add this this button over here. I think it is for toggle. Okay, so we have a division bar. So as you can see, every element inside this is a list element. So what they did, they added a list inside this navigation bar, and they have given it as a list item, right? As you can see over here, they have added an unordered list. As we discussed earlier, this is a list, and they have given a lot of CSS styling, okay, using this class elements. So these are nothing but some predefined CSS classes that we get from the single CSS Bootstrap file. So that's Bootstrap is a single CSS file, so that we can use all of these classes provided by them. Okay, so you can see this home, you can see this link, drop down and disable, right? And also a search box with this button. So this is what they have given inside this one single navigation bar code template. Okay, it's just a simple code. You can go through this later. Now let's add some images and make this look pretty. Okay. So we have this same code from over here. This is an image, responsive image code from Bootstrap. Okay, so can anyone say where should I add the image link to this tag, to this element, so that I can display an image? Anyone from the audience?
In body.
Yes, it is
HTML body.
inside body. I'm asking where should we link the image that we want to add?
SRC.
Sir,
Exactly. So we have to add the image. I have uploaded already 4 images. Okay, so it is in the same directory. It is in the same folder, so that I can add it easily. Okay, so we have to add the image inside this SRC. So let me just copy the image they have added over here. Okay, simple, right? So let me run it. So as you can see, this is the event banner that we created for the event, right? So this is responsive. As you can see over here, whenever I change the the dimensions of the browser, it changes automatically along with this. That's why it's responsive. Okay. So let's go for the next component, which is card deck. Okay. So similar to what we have, right? We play cards, and similarly, we have 3 cards over here. So it is wrapped under single division class. So this is how we have to use the division, guys. Okay. As you can see, they have wrapped every element inside one division, right? As you can see over here, every element is wrapped inside the division, so that let's start from the beginning. See, so whatever these 3 cards are over here, these 3 cards are wrapped under single division tag, so that we can apply this card deck class, CSS class, right? So that this feature is this CSS styling is applied for all of the 3 cards. So that's why it is very useful to use the div tags. Okay. So as you can see, we have 3 cards over here, 1, 2, and 3, right? So let's add some images into this 3 of them. Okay. So as we discussed earlier, we will be adding the image using this SRC, right? So let's add them. I've already uploaded this total 4 images. Okay, so let's also add some content along with this image over here. Okay, so instead of cartel, let's put HTML. So can anyone say what is HTML stands for? What is the full form?
Hypertext Markup Protocol.
Yes, very good, guys. So it is hypertext mark.
So I hope everyone got this right in the quiz yesterday.
Okay, good. So we have another type of division over here called class footer. As you can see, last updated 3 minutes ago. Let's change it to 1 minute ago. Okay. Okay. So what is the full form for CSS?
Cascading style sheet.
Yes. 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 Good. 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 Okay. Last updated, let's say 1 minute ago, and let's expand this and let's put JS. So we call JavaScript in short for JS. Okay. Let's add it to 1 minute ago. Okay. So are you ready to see how beautiful it is going to become? Okay. Let's refresh this. And boom. Okay. Within just a few minutes, we created a really pretty looking website, right? As you can see, this and minimize this and try to shrink it. It will change accordingly. As you can see, after certain amount, it goes even smaller, right? So these all are taken care of this Bootstrap framework. Okay. So that you can build some really fast, simple websites. Okay. All right. Now let's see some examples from who and all uses Bootstrap and this real life. Okay, so I'll show you a website. As you can see, these are all companies that use Bootstrap to make their website look pretty. See, this one is looking really good.
So Ashwin, there's one question in the chat. Since you said it's responsive, is it also responsive for phone as well? It's asked by Nitish.
Yeah, let's check it out. Okay, so this is this website is built by using Bootstrap only, right? We have seen this in this Expo website. So yesterday, if you guys can remember, I told you to use developer tools, right? So if you can see these 3 dots over here, we can go to the more tools and developer tools, or Control Shift I. Okay, I'll go over there and let me see. So if you can see over here, there's an icon, right, with a tab followed by a mobile icon. Can you guys see this? So if we try to click this, it will change into an mobile screen. Okay, so as you can see, it's responsive to mobiles as well, right? Let's see for our own website as well. Okay, where is it? Okay, so Control Shift I. Let's go to developer tools, and you can see this. It's responsive, right? It's not breaking. We don't need to scroll left to right? Yesterday we saw this when we used this HTML image inside our demo, it was breaking, right? We had to scroll from left to right as well. So here you can see it is adjusting accordingly. So let's change this over here. As you can see, if you click this drop down button, you can click various amount of dimensions for each and every. We have iPad, you have iPhone, so different types of mobiles. So for each and every dimension, it is responsive, right? I choose iPad. Okay, as you can see, the nav bar also reduced to a different type of this one. As you can see, if I close it, the nav bar is different, right? But when I try to change it, the nav bar is also responsive accordingly. So yes, when I say responsive, it's also for mobile screens as well. Okay, so as you can, I've provided this link in the slides. You can see a lot of websites just with the help of Bootstrap. They have built really cool websites, right? So I'll leave that up to you guys, and let me show my project that I've built a couple of months ago, which also uses Bootstrap. As you can see, we have a navigation bar over on the top, and I have used 2 components over here. This is a card container and this is a card deck. Okay, I'll show you the code. Even you guys can see it's very easy to understand if you get this concept. Okay, as you can see, in this website I've used 3 main components. One is navbar, one is this card container, so that I can add this image over here, and one is card deck, right? So as you can see, there are 3 division tags respectively. I expand this. Everything that we see is simple list of elements wrapped under one single part, right? It's very easy to use. You can just use the template code that you get from the Bootstrap website, and you can build really responsive website. As you can see over here, I just used Bootstrap to the front end so that it looks good. Okay. Yeah.
Wonderful example, Ashwin. Thank you so much.
So yes, so that's it from my side for Bootstrap.
I hope you guys had at least some idea of what Bootstrap is all about, how to implement it. Yes, Brian, we're gonna start with JavaScript right now.
JavaScript.
Thank you,
Yes, just
Ashwin, once
excited.
again.
Yeah.
If you guys want this code base as well, we will share it at the end of the session. So Ashwin
Sure.
will be sharing it with us, so you can access it, manipulate it, play around with it. So thank you, Ashwin, once again. Now I would like to invite Aniket to come take over and start his session on. Okay, Ashwin, some of them are asking for your GitHub link. Can you just share it in the chat? Ashwin, you're on mute.
Okay, so I will share it with my slides together. Okay, so that you may lose it in the chat section.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Then we'll share it alongside with the other material. So thank you, Ashwin, once again. Aniket, would you like to say a few words before you begin?
Hi, Jasleen. Hello,
Hi,
everyone.
Aniket, just to give a small introduction about him, he is one of the mentors at Code Academy VIT Bhopal chapter. He has a lot of experience in mentoring people. So today he has come up to us teaching JS to all of us. So he will be taking today's session as well as tomorrow's session. So feel free to don't worry about the time constraints and things like that. We have enough of it. And you're going to have a lot of fun with Aniket. I can already assure you of that.
Yeah, thank you, Jasleen. So yeah, I am pursuing BTech from Vellore Institute of Technology, Bhopal. And previously this event, I have done 3 internships in my first year and the second year. And they were like, one was teaching assistant and technical content writer. And recently, which I have done was a web developer intern. With the growing startups of India, I have done all 3 internships. And thanks to everyone for this event. So are you guys excited for the JavaScript? Please respond yes.
I am very excited.
Yeah, even I'm excited.
Yes,
there is a lot.
Yes, everybody is. Yes, I can see. So from everybody's side, I just want only one thing. Whenever I ask a question, be interactive to the chat box.
Our audience is plenty interactive. Aniket, you won't be disappointed.
Yeah. Okay. Let me share a screen. 1 minute.
Yeah.
Wait. Slide is visible?
Yes, Aniket.
Okay, guys. Wait. Chat. Okay, let's start with JavaScript. Tie up your seats and we'll start. So JavaScript. Actually, what is JavaScript? JavaScript is a lightweight programming language used to make web pages interactive, insert dynamic text into HTML, react to events, and wait, let me use pen. And when I say the JavaScript react to events, what does it mean? It means that if there is button, like you can say click button, and when you click, then it refers to the another page. So it means it react to the events like on click. When you click on some button or text, it reacts to the page. On blur, when you roll your mouse upon that button or text, it will blur the text. So for these type of things, JavaScript is used, and JavaScript framework, maybe you all know, Node.js is used for backend also. And JavaScript is used to perform calculations on users' computers like form validation. So first we will go with some theory, then we will start doing it practically. So what is the history of JavaScript? The most important point and is in the history of JavaScript that it just developed in the 10 days by the Brendan Eich. And originally it was named as Mocha, but quickly became known as LiveScript and later JavaScript. So as a beginner, maybe you all will be confused between, is JavaScript same as it is Java, or is there is any difference between Java and JavaScript? So let's go with that part. So when I was a beginner like you, so really I was confused between Java and JavaScript. Is that same? Because I have studied Java in my 10th and 12th, and after the learning Java, and after when I started JavaScript, I was confused that is that like same like Java? But guys, it is totally not at all same. Nothing is common between the JavaScript and the Java. And the most important part is why it is named as then JavaScript. JavaScript came from Netscape support of Java applets within its browser. And many say it was also a marketing tactic to divert some attention from Java, which was the most buzzed about language at that time. So at that time when JavaScript was made, Java was very trending language. So who developed the JavaScript, they thought that name it as Java related to Java only, they used as a marketing tactic. So what is the difference between Java and JavaScript? To run Java programs, the code must be compiled into an executable form, like any other languages, C++, Python, or C. On the other hand, JavaScript was created to be interpreted at the runtime, so making it more dynamic. Like in the backend Node.js, you can see that YouTube video is streaming. So making it more dynamic, JavaScript was created to make it run at the runtime, making it much more dynamic. Let's move ahead with the console part. What is console? The console is a panel that displays important messages. Like for the developers, the console is basically for developers. It is just like your CMD command prompt. So it shows us like errors for developers and for who have tried Android development. They well know this thing console.log, because there it basically shows the different types of errors in the console box. The same it is in the programming also. In the JavaScript also, it shows errors in the console box. Or if you want to try or test anything, you can test in the console. I will show you practically how to test in console box and how to run your scripts. Much of the work the computer does with our code is invisible to us by default. If we want to see things appear on our screen, we can print or log to our console directly. So yeah, let's go with the one method of the console, which is the most important method, that is .log. When we write console.log, when we put inside the parentheses will get printed or logged to the console. It's going to be very useful for us to print values to the console. So we can use the work that we are doing. So whatever you will put inside the console.log box, like I'm putting here hello. Then in the console, it will print hello. Let's move with another example. So here I have used the Code Academy compiler, but after the few methods, I will show you how to compile this console.log in your Chrome browser. So here I use console.log 5. Then if I use here console.log 2.5, then output will be, please respond in the chat box. .5, 2.5. Yes, everyone. Yeah, this type of interaction I only want from you guys. So today our target will be two things: that to learn JavaScript how much to, and second our target will be to make as much as you can do messages in the chat box. Let's move with the comments. What are comments? Programming is often highly collaborative. In addition, our own code can quickly become difficult to understand when we return to it, sometimes only an hour later. For this reason, it's often useful to leave notes in our code for other developers or ourselves. So like if you are working with in a company, you are working with a project team of 50 people. And And now you guys know HTML and CSS. And 25 people are doing HTML thing, 25 people are doing CSS thing. But these 25 people, when they will do HTML part or CSS part or means any programming language, they should leave comments that they have used paragraph tag for here for like giving information about anything, so that when the CSS person will come, they will let to know that which color they need to apply where and which type of things they need to use there. So for comments are basically used for collaborating things or collaboration in the project. And sometimes it happens with you also, and it happens with me too. That if I am writing a long program and I have completed half of the program during night and I slept away. And in the morning when I woke up, I see that I forgot what I have written in the half of the lines. So for remembering those things or doing, you can use comments. So currently you will not forget, but if you will write a very complex program, so you will start forgetting that type of things. So yeah, as we write JavaScript, we can write comments in our code that the computer will ignore as our program runs. These commands exist just for human reads, not for computer. So like I have written before console.log5. It was compiled by the compiler. But when I will write inside the comment, it will only be readable to the humans, not by the compilers. So let's see different kind of comments in the JavaScript. There are two types of comments, single line comment and multiple line comment. Let's go with the single line comment. A single line comment will comment out a single line and is denoted with 2 forward slashes preceding it. So whatever you will write after the 2 line slashes, that will be treated as a comment, and this will not be compiled and not will show any error. This is just only for your personal use. Like here I have written print 5 to the console.log. And comment beside using the comment for personal use, you can also use comment for learning. Like currently you started learning JavaScript. So what you will do in your compiler, you will write print 5 to the console, and you can write here console.log is used for like printing the things. So like you can also use comments for learning the things. Let's move with the multi-line comment. A multi-line comment will comment out multiple lines and is denoted with /* to begin the comment and */ to end the comment. So whatever you will write between this and this symbol, that will be treated as a comment, multiple line comment. So like if you want to give a very much information about the concept which you have used, you can write in multiple line comment. Otherwise, you can use single line comment. This is another example of console.log where we are printing multiple lines. And now what we'll do, we will comment this. What we are doing here, this is the opening line. We are commenting here the first line, that this is the opening line. And now what we want that from the line 3 to 8, we don't want to print that console.log which was printing here different lines. You can see different lines are printing, but we don't want to print this much of line. I just want to print only first line. Then what I can do in that case also, I can use multiple line comment option. So I have here commented down from line 3 to 8, and it is not compiled by the compiler, as you can see here. Don't worry, I will show you practically also after some theory part. And okay, let's move ahead with the data types. What are data types? Data types are the classifications we give to the different kind of data that we use in programming. Like we are using number, string, boolean, null, undefined. Number. What is number data type? Number data type can be like 2, 3, can be decimal, 2.5, 4.5, can be anything. What are strings? Any group of characters on your keyboard surrounded by single quotas or double quota is treated as a string. What is Boolean? Boolean is either true or false. What is null? Null is used for when there is value is not defined there. There we use null keyword. And same goes with the undefined, where the value can't be defined, we use undefined. I will show you later how to use this. And this is also important data type, Boolean, because it's just like your binary key. You can treat true as a 1 or false as a 0, or you can treat it as a on or off button. In real life, switch button, you can treat it as a on or off. And undefined keyword, this data type is denoted by the keyword undefined, and this will be written without quotas, because anything if you write with the quotas, that will be treated as a string. It also represents the undefined, it also represents the absence of a value. And let me ask you a question, that if I will write inside the double quotas, if I will write 2, then it will come under string or number. Now it's time to respond in the chat box. String.
Aniket, someone had also asked about negative indexing. If you could just cover that as well.
Yeah, you can put negative indexing too in the number. Wait a second. Okay, yeah. All of you have told right that that this will be treated. This will be treated as a string. As I told earlier, whatever you will keep inside the single quota or the double quotas, that will be treated as a string. Whether if you will define a number or 2.5, or you can say negative number 2, that will be treated also as a string if you have kept it inside the double quota. Let's move ahead. What we are printing here? We are printing here the string JavaScript, and here 2011 as a number. Again, string. For string, what we have used? Single quotas. And here we are printing 20.49. And someone has asked if they will put a negative value, console.or -2. Then you all can answer this. What the output will be here? Okay, -2. Everyone is replying. Yeah, all are correct. You all are learning so fast. Smart boys and girls are here. Now let's move ahead with the arithmetic operators. Let's go with the basic arithmetic operators like add, subtract, multiply, divide, and remainder. And in other languages, we call it as a modulus also. First, we will see what is an operator. If someone say, means many of you are aware of what are operators, but if someone will come over, don't be aware of any languages, he's first time to the JavaScript, for them I am telling you what are operators. An operator is a character that performs a task in our code. JavaScript has several inbuilt arithmetic operators that allow us to perform mathematical calculations on numbers. And these inbuilt operators by the JavaScript are addition, subtract, multiply, divide, and remainder. Let's move ahead with the example of part. Here we are adding console.log 3.5 plus 20, and it is giving us 23.5. When we are subtracting, it is subtracted. Here we have divided, division. And what we have done here we have multiplied 0.2708 multiplied by 100, and it has given us the multiplication. And now, guys, it's your time to respond. What will be your output? Fast, chat box. 5555. 5. Yes, you all are correct. Now we will see string concatenation. So we have learned we use string using the double quotas. So whatever we will keep inside the double quota or single quotas, it will be treated as a string. But now if we want to concatenate two strings, so first see what is concatenation. So the process of appending one string to another is called concatenation. And example like Java and script, you are concatenating, it will give you Java script. But how to do it in the JavaScript using our script only, JavaScript? How to concatenate two strings? So operators are not just limited for numbers. When a plus operator, that is addition operator, is used on two strings, it appends the right string to the left string. Again, it's your chance, guys. Now we'll try hello world. Hello word example. So what we are doing, we are adding here, and in the string, we can say we are concatenating. I think so. Some of you guys, yeah, you guys already started commenting. Yeah. Yes, very nice, guys. Hello, what will be the output? Someone has added JS is just like Python with some twist. Yeah, but it is quite different. You will get to know. Will there be any space? No, there will be not any space. But if we will use console.log hello plus, and we have left it here space word. Now the output will be with space hello, then space, then left, then my bad, then word. So all of you understood till now? Respond in the chat box. Yes.
Yes, Aniket, clear so far.
Oh. Yes, Jasleen, what do you saying?
I said everything's clear so far. Everyone has been able to keep up with you.
Yeah.
Lots of talks about internship and JavaScript and Python going on in the chat.
Okay, but there are 143 students, and all of you, I want at the end of the session, I want around 2,000 or 3,000 response. Let's move ahead with the properties of the string. The first property which I will be telling you is the length. How to calculate the length of the string? Like when you introduce a new piece of data into a JavaScript program, the browser saves it as an instance of the data type. Every string instance has a property called length that stores the number of characters in the string. You can retrieve property information by appending the string with a period and a property name. So like I said, every string instance has a property called length that stores the number of characters in that string. And so the use of length function is to calculate the number of characters in a string. Hello dot length. What it will print? Okay, yes, you guys have given the correct answer. But now let me bring you a little twist in the question. Let me ask you. Now tell me what will be the output. Okay, everyone is responding 8. You all are quite smart. I think so. You will forget this space, but you all have counted. So yeah, all of you are correct. Len function also calculates the space between two words. Jasleen, everyone is smart here already. They don't need.
I agree. Absolutely. We have a great crowd with us.
Yeah. Like I am showing you the another example, console.log, teaching the word how to code. .len. Everyone knows that it will give you the output 30 because it has calculated the space between the words. And let's see methods in the JavaScript. So remember that methods are actions we can perform. JavaScript provide a number of string methods. We call using methods instance with a period, the name of the method, opening and closing parentheses. So only leaving the length method, like whenever you will write length, you need to write it as it is a string dot length. But if you will write any other functions like there are many functions like you can build inbuilt functions also, or inbuilt functions you can use, or even I will tell you how to make your own functions. So you can develop your own function. Whenever you will write your own function, what you need to do, string, you need to keep a dot and your method name, and after that parenthesis. Let's see the example. Console.log codecadme.to uppercase. This is inbuilt JavaScript function. What it does, it converts all the lowercase characters of the word into the uppercase. So it has converted like Code Academy to all in uppercases. And .trim. What a trim function do, or a method using a string method to log the following string without the white spaces at the beginning and the end of it. So if you don't want the white spaces before the starting of the string and at the end of the string, you can use .trim function. And now let me ask you another question. If let this is a string and I am applying here dot to lowercase, output will be everyone. Yeah, nice. Yes, the output will be Code Academy only. What are built-in objects? In addition to console, there are other objects built into JavaScript. Down the line, you will build your own objects, but for now, these built-in objects are full of useful functionalities. And for example, if you want to perform more complex mathematical operations, then arithmetic JavaScript has built-in math object. So if you want to perform more complex problems, there is one inbuilt JavaScript object called math. Let's see how to use it. Yeah. Anybody is trying to say anything?
Please mute yourself, whoever that is. Thank you.
Okay. So let's see what we can do using the math object. Math.random. These all are inbuilt methods. What we can do using the math.random, and don't forget this function we will use at the end of our class, maybe tomorrow, for building a small type of game, you can say. Math.random prints a random number between 0 and 1. And math.random will generate a number between 0 and 1. And what console.log will do, it will print the number. But if you want to generate a number between 0 and 50, what you can do, you can multiply it by 50. So this is the basic mathematic part. This all you know well. My another question will be math.random multiplied it by 10. It will generate random numbers between. Respond in the chat box. More students, more. Everyone. Yes, you all are correct. It will generate a random number between 0 to 10. Now let me do some twist question for you. Console.log math.random multiplied it by 10 plus 1. It will generate random number. Yes, 0 and 10 are included. No, not 1 to 11. Wait. Someone. Okay, someone is not included. No, 10 is not included. 10 is excluded. Okay, leave it. Wait. Leave it here only. We will try it in our console box in the Chrome browser. Let's move ahead. You will check your own answer in your console box in your browser. I will tell you after some more slides. Math.floor takes a decimal number and rounds down to the nearest whole number. You can use math.floor to round down a random number like this, math.random multiplied by 15, math.floor. So in this case, math.random generates a random number between 0 to 1. We then multiplied that number by 50. So now we have a number between 0 and 50. Then what does math.floor will do? Math.floor will round the number down to the nearest whole number. And let's see. Okay, don't worry, we will explore the methods. Practically, we will explore, not like in this type of compilers or not by showing pictures to you. And let's move ahead with the another function. Dot is. So what is it? Wait a second. Yeah. Dot is integer. Console.log number dot is integer 2017. So is this an integer? Yes, that's why it is returning true. My question to all of you is this function number dot is integer. Here we can put anything. Its return type is which data type? or I can say, yeah, everyone is responding in the chat box. Yes, correct. Its return type is Boolean because here it is returning us the value true. And if it will, okay, it will Boolean returns only true or false. Let me ask you if the console.log number is integer. And if it will write, I will write here hello. Output. What will the output of this statement? Yes, everyone. Why responses are less? Yes, now it's fine. Everyone is responding. False. Okay. Now what we'll do? So these all are the statements, or it is a glance which I have told or explained you today. Read it for I'm giving you 1 minute for reading this. After the 1 minute, I will start practically how to do practically this type of thing, console.log, addition, subtraction, arithmetic operations, and all the things. Let's meet after 1 or 2 minutes. Please read everyone these all points. Everybody has read? Please respond in the chat box. Yeah, done. 2 people. Understood. Done. Yes, everybody is responding with yes. Anybody is having any doubt till now? So I think so. One doubt was there. They were asking. One was asking the range of mat.random. If we are multiplying it by 10, the range will be 0 to 10, but 10 will not be included. So better to write it as 0 to 9. Means 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And Yes, everybody is done with these points. So now let me also take a one more glance at the concept we have just learned in a short. Console.log is used for writing or printing the statements in the console box. There are two types of comments, single line comments and the multiple line comments. Fundamental data types in the JavaScript are string, number, boolean, null, and undefined. Numbers can be anything. String can be between the single or double quotes, or the built-in arithmetic operators include addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, and remainder. And the object includes instance of data types, can have properties, stored informations like hello.length. And we can use different string options like hello dot to uppercase or dot to lowercase. And we can access different inbuilt properties using dot and function dot, function name, and parentheses. Built-in objects including math are calculations of methods and properties that JavaScript provides. So in the math object, there are different operations like we have seen math.random. There are many math.maximum, math.minimum. Okay, we'll look all into it. Okay, let's move ahead practically. Let me open my Chrome browser. Wait, let me. Wait, I'm sharing this screen.
Sure, Aniket.
Till then, anybody is having any doubt, they can ask.
Someone's asking about your computer specifications.
I will tell you later after the lecture. I'm not too much from Ocean. I don't know what's your name.
Brian, thank
Okay,
you.
Mike, I will go through all your chats and we can talk enough after this class.
Yeah, sure.
So that if someone don't want to waste time in such type of things, they do. Okay, this Chrome browser is visible. Just think.
Yes, Aniket, you can see.
So what we need to do for compiling our JavaScript objects, just right click it, inspect, and open this console. And this is our console box. So like I have told, whatever you will write, console.log hello, it will print hello. See, it has given us the output. Now console.log 5. It has given us 5. Console.log -5. It has given us -5. And console.log hello plus 5. What will this line will give output to us? It's your time, guys. Respond in the chat box. Hello 5. Yeah. You all were correct. It will return as hello 5 because it will treat 5 as a string and it will concatenate hello and 5. So here what the thing is going on? String concatenation. Yeah, it has given us hello.5. So let's move ahead with other. Let me clear this. Yeah. And another thing what I want to tell you that Tomorrow I will tell how to use JavaScript with your HTML files, and if you want something should print in the browser screen, like here in your browser, what we use, console.log is used to print in the console, but if we want to write in our screen, what we can do, console.write. Hi. Yeah. You can see in the screen, it has given us the output. Hi. And let us try more. Document.write. Wait. So yeah, document.write is used to printing in the screen in our browser. Everybody understood this document.write? Yeah, tomorrow, all of you are confused with how to use it with the HTML. I will tell you later. No need to worry about that. First learn JavaScript, then it will be more easy to all of you to how to compile with HTML files. So yeah, everybody understood what is document.write and what is console.log. Console.log is used to write the statement in the console box, in the console, and document.write is used to print the statement in our screen, on our screen. So like, let's perform different operations like console.log string. What it will give us output? Abhinav was saying day 3 was fair. Yes. 5, 5, or 6. Everyone is responding 6. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes. Everybody has corresponded. Good. And it has written 6 only. You all were correct. Very smart. Let me play with you. You all are responding all the correct answers. Let me wait.
Aniket, there was some noise coming, so I muted everyone, so you can.
Got it.
Yeah.
Dot to. What it will print? Everyone in the chat box, start typing. Yeah, correct. String in all the uppercase characters. Okay, let me clear my screen again. Means clearing my log. And wait. Not string. I dot length. What it will print? Everyone. 2. Yes, everyone is responding 2, but it will not print 2. So yeah, guys. Today I won. I said you can't answer all the correct answers. Yes, now everybody has started writing error. You need to focus it first time only. Now I have told, then you are telling me that it will respond error. Why it will respond error? Because length is, I have said earlier, for using the length function, we don't need to write this parenthesis, because in the JavaScript, they don't treat length as a function or method, you can say. So it will give us error. So yeah, you guys are smart, but not as much. Second chance I am giving you for showing your smartness. What it will give? Everyone. Yes, Samin. Yes, Rohan. Samin. Monil Gandhi. Yes. Yes, you all were correct this time. Yeah, you all are smart too. We need actually parenthesis because the dot to uppercase and the dot to lowercase, I said you leaving except the length function, everywhere we need parenthesis. Console.log, let me print. So yeah, it is giving us error and it is telling us also that this function is dot to uppercase and this we need to write parenthesis. So if we will write now dot hello dot to uppercase and parenthesis. Now it will respond in capital hello. So yeah, another thing I want to tell you, like this is an event. We can't go with all the topics. Like there are plenty of many of functions available in the string in the math object. So we can't go with them all. So actually, if means even I and all other mentors will be explaining you the basic and the main concept of the program, so that if you are interested and want to continue with it, you can move it by learning or watching some articles and like whatever you like by reading. So let's move ahead with the console.log. Hello. Wait. Hello. Yeah. One thing I'm going to tell you that how to explore in the string functions. So go to your console and inspect, and in the console box, if you have written console and when you will write dot, it will show you what are the functions already there. Even I don't know this much functions. So like we can try dot bold what this function will do, and will it require this? Okay, what it has given means I am explaining you how you can explore. What it has given, no, it will not give text in bold till now. It has not given by writing, but it has given you one hint that you need to write it as a B. B is used for bold. Bold in the HTML, you know it, right? Console.log and if we use only bold, not parenthesis. Now it is also giving us error. Now it is telling us use to bold function. So how to use or convert into bold? Let's see. Console.log, and what we can do, actually we can use HTML tags inside it, and like closing. Again, it is showing that error. So yeah. Now you will only tell why it is showing this type of errors. Console.log in the bold. Yes, Puneet, you are responding it correct. We need to write document.write for using it in the screen. Yeah. Our console can't respond to this type of things. Like in the console, if we are printing all the things, like if I said HTML tags are just used for writing in our screen, not in our console box. Like this, if we can use in the console box, so we can also print the img tag using image, but we can't insert an image in a console box. That's why for doing these type of things, or you can use your own tags, but what you need to do, you need to write the document.write, not console. So by writing this, I want to tell you that all the functions we can't use in the console. In that case, we need to use document.write and to print on our screen. Someone is asking, need to mention the type of data? No, about the type of data we need to mention or how we need to mention or not, I will tell you, means after the class, I think so time is not there. I will tell you tomorrow. Let's explore different functions which I taught you today. Mat.random. Yes, you can see it has given you mat to random. What I told, if you will just write mat.random, it will give you output between 0 to 10 or exclusively 0 to 9. Oh, means sorry, inclusively. Console.log mat.random multiplied it by 20. Now what it will give? Response in the chat box. Hello, everyone. Yes. Jaideep, Rohan, Suhani, Letia, Monil. Yes, you all are responding it correct. Console.mat.random will give you a value between 0 to 19. Anything it can give you. Mat.random. And for making it the whole, as you can see, what we are getting, we are always getting our value in the decimal form, like 4.0 or like here also 0.2. But we need to do it in the whole number. What we can use, mat.floor, and then we will use mat.random. If we multiplied it by 20. So yeah, now it has given you a whole digit. Why it has given you the whole digit? So for taking the number, yeah, let me hide it. So for the taking the number into a whole number, or you can say for taking the output of mat.random into a whole number, which method we use? Yes, everyone. With which method we can convert it into a whole number? Everyone, respond in the chat box fast. Yes, float and seal. Yes, correct. Dia, Ishani, Suhani, Souvik. Yes, you all are correct. For converting into a whole number, we can use mat.floor. And yeah, I think so that will be enough for today. We will continue tomorrow with the JavaScript.
Yes, Aniket, thank you so much. The session was really interactive. I guess all the members also enjoyed it a lot. They were interacting with you so much, answering everything really fast.
Yeah. Everyone was smart.
Yes, definitely. Everyone came prepared, right? Okay, guys. So the attendance form is shared in the chat. Kindly fill that. We can, I guess, take 5 minutes, Aniket. It's 7:53 right now. We can take time till 8. If anyone has any doubts, you can ask Aniket now. He can answer a few questions. If you want to come out, you can raise your hand. Otherwise, please put it in the chat.
And the other thing I can tell you, like, if you want to try it practically, just try it today at your home. Tomorrow also I will be there. If you have any doubt, I will clear it tomorrow.
Definitely. Just if anyone has anything, you can raise your hand. Aniket will be happy to answer. Otherwise, we can wind up for today. We'll meet again tomorrow, and Aniket will be continuing with JavaScript tomorrow as well.
Yeah, tomorrow I will continue.
I guess then there are no doubts.
There are questions like how much you earn, sir, as a full stack developer. Actually, I am not earning. Actually, I am in the third year of my college.
Everyone just, the way you taught them, they're pretty much like, oh my God, Aniket is a proper full-blown expert. Thank you so much.
For all the VITans, maybe VITans know me. Well, What is your primary language? Abhinav, my primary language is Java.
Are you from an ICSE board, Aniket?
I want to tell you that I am from Lucknow, it's UP, and till 6th I was in UP board, and
Okay.
from 7th to 10th I was in ICSE board, and 11th and 12th I was in CBSE board.
I got the part about liking Java because I also had it till 10th, since I am also from ICSE, because that's what they teach us over there. So
Yeah.
nice. So you have had the best of both worlds: state board, ICSE, CBSE. You've seen it all. You know everything is how everything works.
Yeah, if anybody wants to connect me, they can connect me on, like, you can search Aniket Artani on LinkedIn or Instagram. Anywhere you can connect with me, and I will respond you there only. No need to worry.
A lot of questions about what Aniket did and where did it. Okay, Aniket, can you drop your LinkedIn handle in the chat? A lot of people have a lot
Wait,
of questions
wait,
to ask you.
Wait. Actually, my even LinkedIn ID is not updated too much, but I'm lending you for connecting me. Wait. Which college are you? I am from Bellon Institute of Technology, Bhopal. Okay, yeah, I think so. Anthony did it. Yes, thanks.
Yeah, all right. If there are no more questions, I guess we can wind up. Guys, if you have any questions, just ask quickly. Why did Siddharth? Are you trying to ask something? You just wrote my name. What am I supposed to tell you? Okay, I guess. So yeah, you can ask your doubts to Aniket personally as well. Like he said, he's gonna connect with you and respond there as well. So I guess, guys, Anmol, Shantini, we can wind up for today. Then again, we're gonna start up tomorrow.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. All right, guys. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much for joining in today. See you tomorrow, same time, right? With Aniket tomorrow again. And we're gonna finish up with JavaScript tomorrow, and the next